Greetings, YouTube! Zenthone here, and today I'll be having a guest, my friend Sukumaru.
Yo!
Okay, but before we get started, I recently found out some grave news. And I didn't even know this, but 2 years ago, one of my favorite actors died. The celebrity is known as Leslie Nielsen.
Dude, who was she? Was she a good actress?
Take care of yourself, baby. By the way, I faked every orgasm.
Oh.
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen's a dude. Anyways, and so, because I found out this, I want to take a moment of silence, please.
What?
Now, in this episode, we're going to be talking about movies. Sukumaru. So, like, okay, you've noticed recently that, I don't know, like, pretty much just about every single movie is either a remake, reboot, or a prequel, mostly sequel, of previous movies, or books.
I've been noticing that more and more lately. Kind of sad.
When was the last time they had an original movie? I mean, like, only two original movies that I know that they've had recently is just only Warm Bodies, and
Dang.
He's not a fan of Warm Bodies.
Sorry. Kind of had to. Zombies. Strike the rule book.
Warm Bodies and the movie Ted. Other than that, pretty much just everything is just not entirely an original. When was do you even remember the last time they had an original?
Well, I'm not sure if this one counts as an original, but just the other day I saw the movie, and it was a pretty good movie, 1995, Judge Dredd. And the new movie that came out, Dredd, same character, different actor, of course, because the original Judge Dredd was Sylvester Stallone. Awesome, by the way. But it's the same character. It's not a prequel or a sequel or any of that sort. It's actually a different story on its own, but it's still the same character, kind of like with comic books.
But isn't that a reboot still?
Technically not, because even though it's still the same character, the storyline is completely different.
Huh.
I just found out about that yesterday. I watched the movie. It was pretty good for a 95 movie. And then I read about what was of the new Dredd movie, which actually does take place in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas to the first movie, the first Judge Dredd, that actually takes place more or less in a place called Mega City. Or Mega City 1, whichever you want to call it. But still primarily in that city where he got convicted of a crime that he didn't do. At least I think that's how it was. I got in like about halfway through the movie. But he got convicted of a crime. He was sent to a place where everyone else that he got arrested, that's where they go. That's where they went, and that's where he ended up going. Main point. Not exactly an original, but also not exactly a sequel. Because it didn't say Dredd 2 or Dredd whatever. It was just Dredd.
And you wouldn't call quite call it a reboot.
Not quite. Like I said, it's still same character.
Yeah.
Different plotline. Completely different.
Okay, then here's a question. What about the first Spider-Man trilogy and then the Ultimate Spider-Man? Like
The Amazing Spider-Man, you mean?
Yes.
Again, that's still the same character, but they're starting it from a different point in time. Even though, yes, what's her face? Kirsten Dunst. What character? Mary Jane. Yeah, Mary Jane was the primary girl that Peter Parker liked, but there was another.
Yes.
That wasn't exactly popular, and they didn't exactly touch bases on most of his actual powers. Yes, he was able to crawl on walls, but the original Spider-Man could not produce web stuff from his wrist. That was actually something that he made on his own.
Right.
So I think with this one, they're going with a same character, but with a completely different start. As to Dredd, same character, just in a different story.
I still feel like that the Amazing Spider-Man is a reboot. Just Still
I haven't seen it yet. Before I didn't want to see it because of the first trilogy.
I feel like that's irrelevant.
So?
Anyways, well, I don't know, but like in my opinion, I still think that The Amazing Spider-Man is a reboot, just slightly different. But would you say that like that Dredd, the two Dredds versus like the 1995 and the remake, it's still, you said it's still the same Dredd completely,
Yeah,
just different story.
It's still the same character itself essentially, but
with same background.
Same background, just different story.
I'm not entirely sure what to say to that, but okay. I think they're actually maybe having another original movie, if not, that is coming out later this year. I forgot what the name of that movie was. Like giant robots versus
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, yeah, Pacific Rim. I remember like reading a little bit of something about it. I don't remember much, but I think they used the phrase "new franchise." So like, I don't like they haven't done anything about that. I don't think they've done anything about that before. I mean, yeah, sure, the giant robots and giant creatures has been used several times before.
It's Godzilla!
Most famous. And, anyways, but I don't remember hearing anything about being called Pacific Rim. I don't remember any plot line taking in the Pacific with giant robots or whatnot. You would say that might be an original franchise.
It seems like an original franchise. It almost kind of seems like a cross between, like, remember Real Steel?
Yes.
Yes, Real Steel kind of almost based off of Rock'em Sock'em Robots. But also kind of like,
I never thought of that.
Yeah, like, you know how usually in Rock'em Sock'em Robots, whenever you would push the little button thing and the little robot would do that, and then bing!
They didn't have the pop-up thing, did they?
No, they didn't. But they did use the same basic concept of people who controlled robots in a boxing ring.
And if they knocked off the head, that's an automatic win.
I honestly don't think that, but it's the same basic concept, but without the head popping.
For the record, people, I haven't seen the movie. It's not that
I've only seen half of it.
It's not that I don't want to. It's just I haven't felt like it, and no one's shown me it. What's your reason?
I just haven't gotten around to it.
To finishing the movie.
And I haven't seen it on television. I'm running low on money, dude.
Then how did you see it the first time? Then how did you see half of it the first time?
On television. Cinemax is awesome.
First, random thought. You think eventually they might make a movie based off of Hungry Hungry Hippos?
Oh god, that'd be horrible. I don't know how they would do that, but that'd be horrible.
Well, I will say this. I mean, like, alright, like, from what I've recalled, they've done the movie, alright, they've made a movie off of the game based off of Clue, back in 1980 something.
That will explain why I haven't heard of it.
Anyways, and then they did Battleship.
Awesome.
Still haven't seen it, but I want to.
Own it.
And now, in light of your analysis, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so there's more than just reboots and books to make movies off of. Now there are apparently board games.
And it's called inspiration, dude. After all, how do you come up with Iron Man? DC Comic. Not DC. Marvel! Marvel! Oh my god, I should be shunned for that.
That's still Iron Man. It's not quite inspiration. Well, okay, sure.
Inspiration from the comics.
Okay, I know there's like a difference between your explanation and my explanation, but I can't quite pinpoint it.
It's just inspiration from... They take it from the comic and or TV show, they put it into a movie.
Okay.
Like they do with Superman. Oh, jerk. God, Superman. Overused.
You know, with the new Superman movie that's coming out, I'm hoping that they'll probably do it right.
No kidding.
You know, and not only with the okay, alright. Another thing I have to admit is that I haven't seen any of the Superman movies. I did watch Superman animated and Justice League, but would that count?
I suppose. I mean, you haven't seen like any of the first 5 movies.
No. I mean, I've seen clips of Superman Returns, but I've never sat down and watched a solid portion of the movie.
As Patrick Stewart has narrated, way to step on our dicks.